grab the door, please. Parker, close the door, please. All right, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, take seats, close your mouths, get out your homework, and let me do lunch real quick. Same drill every day. Elijah, Kira, Gavin,
No, thank you.
Thea, Matt, Malachi, Elizabeth, Lily, Keegan. This reminds me of what is that book?
A book.
Where he's, yes, may I have another? Yes, please. You'll read it. Okay. Bo.
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Jaden.
Yes.
Parker. Ace.
Yes.
Josh. No. Pierce. Jameson. Abby. Yay, nay. Alexa, Ben. Felicity. Oh, I got it. Now I got it. Felicity. Jasmine. Bree. Caden. And Noah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What's for lunch today?
Barbecue pork, I think.
Jaden.
I don't know what
All right. Any questions on the homework? Questions on the homework?
I can get my phone up, but it's in.
All right.
So, Mr. Chartier.
Questions on the homework, Gavin?
No, I don't have a question.
Conversation we had previously.
I don't have a question, but what ended up happening is I got home and I set my homework down on the table whenever it was halfway done.
If there are aliens involved with the story, I don't want to hear it.
No, I finished, and my dad spilled milk all over the table and it got all over my homework, so I just typed down
I'm
another
fine with
paper.
taking milk stained paper.
I know, but I wrote down another page, and after a while I got tired of writing all the homework.
Yeah, very good excuse.
It's done.
I'm listening.
I have a question number 4.
All right, let's take a look at number 4. Why is it not showing anything? Use slideshow.
Bro, I'm gonna use my mouse. There's something on the projector. That's why it's
All right, I'm having technical difficulties here.
Yo.
What is going on here?
Don't hold it out.
Wait. If Hogwarts was the USA, doesn't that make Voldemort and his army Japan? Like, oh, you need a calculator. Oh, you need a calculator?
Abby, what are you doing?
Most likely named No, it wasn't him. He was definitely absolutely not. It wasn't. That means it's probably
Mr. Chartier.
All right.
Guess what? Does anybody need a Does anybody need
Have a seat.
Number 4.
No, 94.
90.
All right, sorry for the delay. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty here. I'm fixing in a second.
And then above that big orange one is the head, and you can kind of see the nose as well. And then above that is the chef's hat. Wait, what are you talking about? All I know is that Ohio's like
All right, sit Ace, sit Ace.
show them the chef cooking project. Yeah, it is. Yellow steak. That's not a heart. That would be the stomach.
And also, why is the pantry down here?
America's that fat white body.
How do you see it? At the map. How do you see that?
California is that. One farm. Mr. Shucker, please can I show them?
In a second.
Sorry.
In a second.
It's starting to work.
See, that's not why.
Oh, I
I
see
see
it.
it. Wyoming is blue.
I can probably guess all the capitals in there.
I have no idea why it messed up there for a second, but it's working now.
No, it's just because it's big, it's the capital.
All right, sorry for the delay. Quiet, please. Okay, ask for quiet. Thank you. All right. Hey, voice off, please. All right, no questions. Let's grade this. 24. Let's take a look at 24.
No, 4.
Like Kira and Thor. You said 4.
Number 4, yes?
Yes.
All right. Let's take a look at number 4, but I can't do it if you guys are talking. All right, number 4 starts off as following. 28 divided by 30.2. So 28 divided into 30.2. Okay, that's your start. The divisor is a whole number. I don't need to move any decimal places. So I'm going to move the decimal place straight to the top. Does 28 go into 3? No, it doesn't. Does 28 go into 30? How many times? 1. So I put a 1 times 28 is 28. Okay. Subtract 8 from 10, can't do. Borrow 1 from the 3, it becomes a 2. 8 from 10 is a 2. Okay, bring down the 2. Does 28 go into 22? No, so I put a 0. Bring down another 0, 220. 28 is awfully close to 30. 30 goes into 220.
7 times.
Okay, and I did this problem with a bunch of people, and I said, well, count by 30s, and eventually they get to 7 times 3 is 21. So 7 times 30 is 210. So we put a 7. I believe the instructions said round to the nearest 10th. Hey, the 7 is now in the what place?
100.
So I'm done. I don't need to do the multiplication. I already know the answer was 7. Or even if it was 6, if I was off by 1, I'm good because I'm rounding to the nearest 10th. So therefore the answer is 1.1. Who's lost? Okay.
I just realized something.
All right. Let's grade this. Here we go. 2 to 28 evens. Number 2 is 31.5. Number 4, we just did it, 1.1. Number 6 is 4.8. And number 8 is 1.6. Okay, 10 through whatever is rounded to the nearest 100th. Number 10 is 13.03. Number 12 is 87.1. If you put 87.10, okay, we just wouldn't write that 0. Number 14 is 105. Finish your homework, Brady. Number 16 is 333.33. Number 18 is 250.77. Number 20 is 0.15. Number 22 is 6.61. Number 24 is 160.75. Number 26 is 3.81. And the last one is 155.56. I said it yesterday, say it again today. If you don't have your homework, you're giving away free points. Right? I only see one person without their homework today. Do your homework.
I
Right?
do. I just forget it out.
Well, that's part of the process of turning it in. So have a system. A lot of people have a folder. So every single time you do your math work, you have your folder next to you. It's open. When you're done, then you put the homework in the folder, close the folder, put it in your book bag. You will never lose your homework, right? Obviously, you got to bring your book bag to school, but it's usually something you don't forget. But you can certainly forget your homework. I don't know if I'm trying to remember the last time I forgot something, because I do the same thing. I got a bag, and then whenever I grade math homework, it goes in a folder, everyone's class. I take it out of the folder, I grade it, I put it back in focus. We're human beings, we forget things. Come up with a system to keep you from forgetting things. All right.
I just keep my work.
What?
I just have to
Pass out. All right. For the rest of you, let's see, calendar, what we got go? Oh, we got one more section and then we're doing chapter tests.
No.
Okay. So this entire chapter was on decimals. You get one more class today, it's an easy class. One more class today, and then we'll review tomorrow, test on Thursday. I've had a couple of you show up for tutoring. If we're running out of days between now and the test, we got 2 weeks to the quarter end somewhere around here. We got 2 weeks to go to the end of the quarter. So I don't, it's the last week, and you're like, I got an F, I got to fix things or I'm in trouble. Kind of too late then, right? We should be fixing things now. I do allow retakes on quizzes or tests, but you got to ask for one early. The last week, I generally say, no, hey, sorry, buddy, it's too late, right? You should have been thinking about this before. And that's simply because, not because I'm trying to be mean, it's because it really isn't time to fix mistakes. You got an F on the test, it's not because, well, I just had a bad day, because you don't understand the material. Coming to tutoring, getting some extra help requires more than just one day. If there literally was magic dust that could sprinkle on your heads and you could get A's, I would be doing that right now. There's no such thing that you can't get out of a little bit of a hard work. So usually when a kid fails a quiz or test, it requires 2 or 3 tutoring sessions. That's over a week. And then you take a retake. And I know I've said it before, but when the quarter ends, the quarter ends. We will be somewhere in chapter 4 when the quarter ends. We're gonna continue. Doesn't say, well, we didn't finish chapter 4, so we move on to chapter 5. We just roll right on. So it may be that you literally, the first day of quarter 2, you have a test or something like that. But it's no big deal because we will end when we need to end. Here's your homework. Copy down. Wow, that's not a lot of homework.
They're hard. They're words.
No, these are easy word problems. You will not struggle with these.
Why do we make
What?
Do you have to teach your kids to get rid of
I believe that most of you could probably start on this. So I've only selected 6 of them to do in class, not 12 of them. We'll do these 6, and I believe we'll finish early so you can get started on homework. Okay, but there's nothing that we're going to do today that, wow, I can't figure out these word problem things. They're fairly easy. Parker, you with me? I don't know what you're doing, but if you're messing around with something, put it in your bag. We good? Everybody got it written down? Okay, I'm going to warn you. You may think that you get 1 or 2 of these wrong, right? It's not that you're getting them wrong. It's your estimation strategy is not what the book. I'm going to show you a common sense strategy. Maybe your common sense isn't common, right, as the saying goes. But most of us would probably agree on this common sense method. So for the test, a question like this, I'll put 1 or 2 of them on there. I will make it painfully obvious of what your common sense should be. That doesn't make much sense, but it will at the end of class. Okay, so it says problem solving. That means we're doing word problems. Estimation. That was somebody online. So we are going to use estimation to do a word problem. You should be happy because that means it's going to be easy when you're using estimation. All right. These are literally as close to real world problems as you can get. Like, how do real human beings actually do math outside of a math classroom? It's what this class is all about. Okay. Very infrequently, when you're presented with a math problem, you literally wait, stop, let me get a piece of paper, let me get the calculator, let's calculate this out. to the precise digit. For the most part, we're trying to get a round figure of an estimation of what is the answer. That estimation allows us to make judgment calls. Wow, this is good, this is bad. I don't have enough money, I have too much money. Ooh, that'd be a nice problem, right? Estimation strategies are simply a tool that you use to judge whether or not you need to do further analysis. Okay, what's up?
So, wouldn't you like round up for like what you're?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do today, right? We're going to be doing some rounding or some estimating to find answers. So the benefits of using this strategy, first and foremost, it's very quick. Typically, it doesn't involve a calculator. When people do this rounding or estimation strategy, they're like, well, I don't know, I just need to find a rough answer, right? Usually they don't make it to make, use this to make, very, very, very important decisions. Like you're not going to make a decision of where you go to college based upon estimation strategy. But when you're trying to figure out, hey, which colleges could I possibly go to? You kind of get a round number in your head. Oh, I can afford X number of dollars every year to go to college. Therefore, I'm going to exclude a couple of these colleges because they're way out of my price range. When you go to buy a video game, right, and you got $50 in your pocket, well, you don't even look at the ones that cost, $80, right? I'm looking at some of the prices on some of the new PlayStation 5, and they're $100. That's ridiculous.
Some of them are like the
$100 for a video game. That thing better take me a year to finish.
Look at Jimmy Kimmel, like $60.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, we do some estimation strategies. Okay, so it is quick. Generally, this is math you can do in your head. No, I'm not claiming I want you to do tonight's homework in your head. Some of them you'll be able to do in your head, though. It's certainly easier than what we've been doing the last 4 days, which is decimal multiplication, decimal long division. Okay, and it's when the answer just needs to be close enough. All right. Hey, I've got 4 friends coming over. How many pizzas do I need to buy? I don't know. How many slices are in each pizza? I don't know. If there's 8 slices in each pizza, and I know my friends want to have 3 slices, right? That's kind of the math we're talking about. Right?
But what happens if there's an extra friend that comes and his name?
There you go. And
Johnson.
that's when you take that into account. You kind of plus up your estimation.
No, but it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. How many pizzas?
So when you do your math and you say, hey, I need to buy 4 pizzas, maybe you say, well, I don't know, I'll buy 5. If it's too much, that's better than too little, right? And you say, if there's any extra over, well, then I'm going to have pizza for breakfast for the next 3 days. The drawbacks of estimation are this. You're not finding the actual answer. It's not exact, right? If you're trying to pay someone for something that they have done, right? If you're a business owner, you don't use estimation to pay them. I don't know, I think I owe you $10. No, you actually owe me $1,000, right? $10 was a crummy estimation, right? So you don't want to use estimation when you're trying to find an exact dollars. Every year when you're an adult, you have to do something called file your taxes. When you file your taxes, you basically fill out this long form, or you get someone else to do it for you. You fill out this long form. It's all math, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, right? And at the end, the bottom line, it tells you how much money you either owe the government or how much money the government owes you, right? Hopefully it's the latter, not the prior. You don't do an estimation, right? The government isn't okay when you say, well, I think you owe about $10, right? They want, not to the penny. They actually do rounding, ironically enough. They round to the nearest dollar. But there are plenty of times calculations. If you're trying to give medicine to someone, you're a doctor or a nurse, and you're trying to give them an injection of medicine, you don't round, right? That would be bad, right? Now, granted, there might be a case if you're going to the 12th digit or something like that, you might want to round. They certainly don't do much estimation. They want exact measurements.
You use the whole file.
Yeah, right. All right, so how do you estimate? Well, estimation is just a fancy word for typically what we call rounding, which you already know. Okay? It's also what we've been doing in decimal long division when I said, hey, let's make the divisor a friendly number. It's easy to count by 30s. That's just counting by 3s and adding 0. Rather than in the previous problem, the one I just did on the board, counting by 28s. I can do 28 and 28 and get 56, and then I kind of stop and have to think. But I can count to 30s all day long, or by 30s all day long, yes.
56 times.
All right. quick warning.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson.
Right? The warning is this. Remember, when you're using this strategy, you are not getting an exact answer. You're only getting an approximation. Okay? We even have a mathematical symbol for approximation. Have you guys seen it before?
No, I think so.
Instead of an
Yes.
equal sign,
It's an equal sign with a slash.
no, that means not equal.
Swirls.
Yeah, you've seen it before. Right? This is called the approximation symbol. When you're not doing an exact answer, technically you're supposed to use this symbol right here. I made it pretty horrible, the second one. It's the tilde. It's two tildes stacked on top of each other. Tilde is above the key number. I always forget. Key number. It's next to the 1 symbol on a keyboard. It's not above the 1, but it's the one to the left of the 1 symbol. Whatever that is on your keyboard. Okay. So it is an approximate answer. Here we go. First example. Look at box number 1. It says a serving of carrots. You know what a serving of carrots means?
Carrots.
It doesn't mean carrots. What does a serving mean?
How many?
No. What's a serving mean? Yeah. So the nutritionists, they come together and like, well, if you're having one meal, how many carrots should you eat? They're not talking about carrots. They're talking about slices of carrots. So they measure it either by weight or by volume. I think carrots are measured by weight, though. So they have a recommended serving. So they'll say you need to eat X number of ounces. Ounces is a measurement of weight of carrots. So a serving of carrots is just simply the amount of carrots that they recommend that you eat. So you got a serving of carrots, and it costs 39.7 cents. If you're a business owner and you sell carrots, right, you want an exact number. You need to figure out, hey, how much money do I need to spend on carrots? If you own, I don't know, name a restaurant, they buy carrots. They need to know.
What if you?
They actually, when they buy lots of carrots, they want it probably even to the hundredths place because they buy lots of carrots. And it would make a difference if it was in the tenths or the hundredths place. For us, every day, when we think about serving the carrots, we probably don't care that it's measured to the tenths place, right? Let's finish the problem first if it's an anecdotal thing. All right, it says about how much will it cost to serve 58 people? So clearly you got either a big party or a lot of friends or family, or you own a restaurant. So you're trying to figure out if this is a daily thing, well, how much do you got to spend on carrots every single day? So what are we doing here? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. What are we doing? Well, I guess we could add 5 times if we wanted to, right? But the easier way to do this would be to, all right, you want to multiply 39.7 times 58? Or would you rather, notice it says about how much, right? You can either multiply that and get the exact answer, or you can do that would be the exact answer, whatever that turns into. Or you can do, this is what we're doing tonight for homework. We're doing an approximation, an estimation. So Parker, look at the 2 numbers. You want to multiply these 2 numbers together, or would you rather multiply 2 other numbers together? Okay, tell me those numbers and talk loud, please. Well, look at the 2 numbers and tell me friendly numbers that are really close to them. 60 and 40, and that's kind of how this is done. We're going to turn the 39.7, because it's almost 40, into 40, and we're going to turn this is the approximate answer, and we're going to turn the 58 into 60. Can you do this I'm not saying you have to do it in your head. Can you do this in your head? Yeah. 6 times 4 is?
24.
Then add 2 zeros. So therefore the answer is 2,400, but we were talking in cents. So how many dollars is in 2,400? How many dollars is in 2,400 pennies? $2.40? 24, and I got 240. Those are really wide apart from each other. Okay, turns out how many pennies are in $1?
100.
Okay, so it can't be 240 then, or $2.40. Could it be 2,400? Ooh, that's way too much. So 240. And remember, if we're changing pennies to dollars, we divide by 100. That's moving the decimal place 2 places. So $24. So approximately, the restaurant guy knows he spends $24 a day, if that's what a daily thing is. Right?
That's expensive.
Most of us don't spend $24 a day on carrots. I'll tell you what, our cafeteria yesterday spent 24, probably way more. Right? You got like that bag of vegetables.
I didn't get carrots.
There were carrots in all the upper school
But then we
ones.
put it in the chicken big box.
Oh, okay. Guarantee you they spent probably $200 on carrots, right? Because we have close to 600 people here, so it's probably a lot of carrots.
How
many-
All right.
teachers?
I don't know of any teachers that eat the lunch. All right. Oh, question on example number 1. We're only gonna do 6 of these. Yes.
So why is it only the kids signing up?
Because they gave us the cents. Yeah, if they would have given us the dollars, how would that have been written? That would have been with the dollar symbol, then they would have to put 0.39. Have you ever seen it written like that way? No, and that's because we are accustomed to seeing things in dollars or cents. If it's in dollars, then the cents are decimal. But if it's just cents, hey, how much does this cost? 10 cents? We don't put dollar symbol 0.1. Hey, it costs 0.1 of a dollar. Well, that's 10 cents, by the way. That's a tenth of a dollar, right? 10 cents. So we like to use the cent symbol right here when we're just talking strictly cents. But technically, I could write 240 cents. Actually, the cents goes on the other side. Cents, right? That's $2.40. 240 cents. We don't see that either, right? So I said there's always 2 times you got to be careful when you do word problems, right? And that is when you have dollars, money, or when you have time. Those are the times you got to be really careful, unintended. All right, second example. A twin room. What the heck's a twin room? No, not necessarily 2 people. It's a hotel room or a motel room with 2 beds in it. That's called a twin room.
No,
Right?
it's a room that's strictly only used for twins. If they're not twins.
Exactly. Then the rest of us non-twin people have a lot of problems finding a room in a hotel. All right. So a twin room is just a room with 2 beds. A twin room at Pine Hill Inn costs $79.50 a night. 2 people share a room for 5 nights. Well, how much does each person spend? Okay, you want to do math with that? Well, you would rather do math with 80. See how easy this is, right? But wait a minute, what's it really asking us to do here? Read the problem, it's on your paper.
About how much is each person.
It's asking how much does each, meaning each individually, how much do they pay? So what are we going to do? Divide what by 2? Well, that's how much you spent for 1 night. Oh, so we take the price per night, which is $79.50, multiply that by, they're staying for 5 nights, so they multiply by 5, and then divide by 2. Except that we want to make our life easy, right? We're just getting an estimation. We're not going to do an exact answer because it says about how much. We'll do some rounding here. We're around $79.50 to 80, right? You said to do what with the 80? Okay, what's 5 times 8?
40.
So what's 80 times 5?
400.
See how easy that one was? Oh, we're not done yet. Then we have to, so how much does each person pay? They don't pay $200. How much does each person pay?
They play about 200.
They pay about $200. It's important that you differentiate between an exact answer and approximate answer. You do any rounding, we did, technically you don't put an equal sign, ever. Because it's not, you're not saying that equal sign means exactly, hey, please stop. And put this away. Now get your math out and do math. Divide by 2, we get approximately $200. Yes? All right, you tell me, easy or hard?
Easy.
Yeah, tonight's homework will be easy word problems. Okay. That's a lot of words. I said it's supposed to be easy. Let's see if I'm lying or not. Lily, read.
Paul wants to buy a fridge for about 26 cents.
You got it.
$6.50, a pair of socks for $4.75, and a bottle of lotion for $5.75. Yes, $40.
You want to add all those up by hand?
No.
What would be the easier way of doing this?
Rounding.
All right, so what are we going to round this one?
19.
What are we going to round this one to?
6. 5. 5.
Okay. Let's see. I'm not rounding this to 19. I'm going for 20. Right? Now, the more you do for rounding, the less accurate it becomes, right? If you had used 19, yours would be far more accurate than mine, right? So just be careful. The other thing too is if all the numbers are rounded up, it's going to be on the high side of an estimation. If you round down, then it's going to be on the low side. If you kind of mix and match, hey, I'm rounding up, hey, I'm rounding down, hey, I'm rounding up, hey, I'm rounding down, it sort of is a better estimation. Now, you can't control that. Rounding is rounding, right? I'm just saying that you kind of get a feel for whether or not your approximation is strong or is weak. Since I rounded up to $20, granted, I can do this math really quick. Oh, we got one more $5, right? I can round this pretty quickly. What's 20 and 10?
30.
Plus 6?
36.
So is my estimation too big or too small? Anybody want to argue? Okay, is it too big or too small? It's going to be one of the two. I guess it could be exact, but it would be very lucky if it was. Is this estimation too large or too small?
Too small.
Why are you going to argue too small?
Because it says it's 36.
No. As compared to the exact answer, is my estimation too large or too small? Why too small? Were we rounding up or down? So I'm over $1 above the real answer, right? Because I've made my 20. But then I'm going to subtract. I'm rounding down, so there's 20 cents off. So now I'm 80 cents still big. Now I'm rounding up. So now I'm back to $1 too big. But now I'm about 90 cents or so off. Too large. I'm about 90 cents too large if my estimation is 36. But check it out. Would we rather our estimation be too large or too small in this particular problem? We would rather our estimation be too large because the question says, do you have enough money? If your estimation is too small, oh, I think it's about $10, when it's really 36, you're going to be disappointed, right? If my estimation is 36, and I don't know, I'm not going to do the actual math here, but the actual answer is $35.10, and I'm like, okay, that's okay. I thought it was going to be 36. I got an extra 90 cents. I'm happy. So there's a little bit of gamesmanship when you do these problems in real life, not obviously in a math class, but in real life, like I would much rather my estimate be too high when this is the kind of decision. Do I have enough money? Okay. Planning a vacation over spring break, right? So the wife and I last couple of days, we're like, where do we want to go? Well, how much do we want to spend? So every time we do this, we literally do this. We're like, well, let's round that up to this because we don't know how much the price will be when we actually buy. So if we round it up, then we can come up with a good estimation of how much money we want to spend, where can we go, you know, what kind of hotel can we get, that sort of thing. All right, so you're going to spend he needs about 36 bucks. So can he go shopping?
Yeah.
He can. All right.
And then he'll also film this fraction stuff.
Possibly. All right. Example number 4. I'm seeing a whole lot of papers with not much writing on them. You're supposed to be doing these as we're talking. It says if John works for 12.8 hours, his hourly rate of pay is $20.30. How much does he earn? You know, when you get your first job, you will be doing this all the time. Oh, I want to buy a new PlayStation. I got my job. How many days do I need to work in order to save up enough money to get the new PlayStation? You will be doing this now. And usually you do it in your head because no one pulls out a calculator and does this. They're like, ooh, I think I got to work about 2 weeks to earn this amount of money, that sort of thing. Well, let's see.
Later on top of
How many hours are you working?
12.8.
Is that a friendly number or not friendly number?
He's
Not very friendly. Okay. How much does he make?
20. He's getting paid
Okay.
20.
Friendly or unfriendly number?
Unfriendly.
So what do you like to make those two numbers?
20 and 13.
13 and 20. What do we have to do with those two numbers, by the way? I got to multiply. Anybody want to argue not multiply?
Why'd you put an extra decimal? Right after
It's a period.
Oh.
Anybody want to argue it's not multiplication? Good, because it's multiplication. So, about how much does he earn? Hey, I worked about 13 hours, right? That represents about 2 days worth of work, right? I made this much money, so how much money did I make? Now, granted, they're not doing taxes here. Taxes always take a big chunk out of your pay. But if I do know that I make 13, if I make 20 bucks an hour, I work for 13 hours, how much money did I make? Do it.
Yeah.
$260 before taxes, right? The first time you get a job, you get that first paycheck, and you see how much the government takes from you. You will turn in you will probably change your opinion of the government. All right, that's my personal opinion, and I'll leave it at that. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
the government's pretty mean.
All right, so $260. $260. All right, yes.
Wouldn't it just be easier for the government to already take away money before they gave you?
Some governments do that, right? Our reason why, I don't know if this is 100%, I'm not the history teacher or the economics teacher. I believe one of the decisions that they do it the way they do it is so that you can see how much you are paying in taxes. For instance, in Europe, when you go to buy things, I don't know if it's all European countries, but I know ones that I went to, their taxes are in the price.
Good.
So for instance, when you go to a store, on the shelf, there's a, I don't know, an Xbox, right? And yes, I'm using video games because my mind's on video games right now. The price that you see is the whole darn thing. In other words, they don't know how much they're spending in taxes. So it's called a value-added tax. So the amount of tax is in the price itself. For us, we say, hey, you know, the PlayStation costs, you know, 250 bucks. Oh, then you got to add in taxes. So that when you walk up to the cash register and you say, here's my new Xbox or PlayStation, and they say, no, it's not $250, it's, you know, $290 because we're going to make you spend $40 in taxes.
Dirty.
Right? Well, I'm just going to say, and the argument that the people that would make is that, well, then therefore the people don't know how much they're paying in taxes. So when you know that you're paying X amount in taxes, and you look at your government, I'm getting off on a way big tangent here. When you know how much money you're paying in taxes, and you look at what you're getting for that taxes, you may or may not be satisfied, right? Maybe that causes you to vote, you know, for a specific politician because you're unhappy, or maybe you're happy with the way the money is being spent. All right, there's your economics class for today,
Woo!
and civics class.
Economy.
That is also why at the end of the year you fill out your income tax return, because you get to see literally how much you pay in taxes every single year.
In 5th grade,
Right.
we got to do something like that. We went to this area and we got like jobs that we had to do and stuff.
It's shocking how much you pay in taxes. But, you know, then again, you know, especially where we live in the military community, you see a $100 million jet fly over your head. You're like, okay, well, there went a whole bunch of my tax dollars right there. That might make you happy. That might not make you happy.
But then if you see that jet crash, you're like, oh no.
Exactly. All right, so here, these are slightly more challenging. All right, it says shelves cost $17.84 each, and the brackets, you know, what holds up the shelf, cost $6.95. You want to buy 5 shelves, or you need to buy 5 shelves, and each shelf needs 2 brackets, so that's 10 brackets. How much money do you spend? Okay, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Somebody new. All right, Abby, tell me. Oh, you can't talk. Tell me what we're going to do. What are we going to multiply?
17 and
Okay, so do you want, you're going to give me the exact answer, right? So this is a class on estimation. It says about how much. So is there a friendly number than 1784?
yeah, 18.
Yeah, I would multiply by 18, right? Well, how about the brackets? What are we going to do?
$7
Times. Okay, that sounds good. And you can almost do that in your head, right? So let's see. Let's see. $18 is what you want to use for the shelves, and we're buying 5 of them. Let's see. 5 times 8 is.
40.
Carry your 4. 5 times 1 plus 4.
90.
So $90. Oh, that's a lot of money on shelves, right? So
And that's
$90 on shelves. The brackets cost, well, that, but we're gonna round up to,
7.
and we're buying 10 of them, so that's, and therefore, how much money are we spending at the store?
160.
Okay, see how easy that is, right? So that's, and it's an approximation, right? Oh, by the way, is the real price more or less than 160? Why so? Both of these we rounded up. Okay, yes.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Do what?
Can I go to the bathroom?
We're almost done here. Only 6 examples. Let's do one more example. All right, last example. I said today would be quick. Jack, we don't have a Jack this year, do we?
Oh
Is
my god.
there a Jack in 7th? No, there isn't one.
No, there's a Jack in 6th grade. Yeah, he's on our soccer.
I have a Jack in 9th
Oh
grade.
my god.
All right, Jack earned a lot of money, but he also worked a lot of hours. This would be more of I don't know, not that much money if you're an adult.
A high paying job.
No, that's not a high
That's
paying
like
job.
That's
If
nowhere
that's a high paying job after like 18 or 20.
Yeah, if you're 18 or 20, this is good money. Another tangent. The first job I had, I was you know what a busboy is?
Yeah.
Right. So you go to a restaurant, you're finished with your meal. Who comes and takes the plates?
You.
That guy,
That's for sure,
right?
yeah.
So that was my first job, and like, what are your qualifications to get that job? I could carry a bucket, right? It wasn't a bucket, it was a basket sort of thing. This is gray basket, and I would go to the table. I would pick up the plates, put them there, and I would literally, all my job was go to the table, put the plates inside this thing, take it, I
That's
carry it
so easy.
to the dishwasher. Oh, by the way, I had to wipe down the table.
Okay.
And then I would hand it to the dishwasher, then rinse and repeat. I would do that for, I don't know, how long did I
That's
work?
so
So I would
easy.
typically work from like 6 to 10. So on the days I worked, I probably worked 3 nights a week. So 6 to 10. I just remember my first paycheck and I got it. And
Dude, that's so
my first reaction was, wow, look at all these taxes I paid. My second reaction was, I'm rich, right? I got all this money. I don't want to shock you how much money I actually made. But at the time, this was in the 1981 was when I got my first job. But I got so much money that I literally said I'm rich because I didn't even know what to spend it on, right? I had just too much money. And that was a bus boy. But that was also, it was, going from like $1 a week allowance to lots of money. $1 back then could buy a lot.
Yeah, a dollar within you.
I want to say I made $85 my first paycheck. And that represented 2 weeks worth of work. And I just remember getting $85 and just thinking, I can buy anything I want. Anything that I wanted, I could buy lots of them for $85.
You could buy a lot of bubble gum.
Gas was about, I don't know, 75 cents a gallon, something like that.
You're joking.
I just remember it was a lot of money. And just thinking like,
85 cents a gallon.
yeah.
Take a minute.
At one time, now I was born in '65. At one time, I remember gas being a quarter, right, for a gallon.
Imagine that today.
I had a go-kart when I just remember driving my go-kart to 7-Eleven because I could do it. Back then, people didn't care, but I drove my go-kart to the 7-Eleven every time I wanted to ride it, and I would put a gallon of gas in. I just remember, having pennies in my pocket and going up to the counter and dropping pennies and nickels, that sort of thing.
Is $20 an hour a lot?
$20 is really good money right now for a kid to have a job.
That's
Oh,
like $5
like a
yeah,
16
because that's the answer to that.
Right. Not for an adult. All right. Or I should say not for an adult with kids and a house and cars, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
All right, here we go. It would not surprise me if your first job, as an adult, you might make $20 an hour.
My dad's first job was that he worked the Carl's Jr.
Yeah, for some reason, I didn't want to do that. I'd rather, the busboy thing was like, I didn't have to deal with customers.
But the real answer is
And all I had, it was a simple job. And plus my friend got me the job. And
the real answer is 19.6.
all right, here we go. So Jack earned this amount of money. He worked for 41 hours last week. How much was he paid per hour? All right, are we doing adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing?
Divide it.
All right, who wants to divide that number
Please.
by that number?
Whoa.
That's what you had for homework last night, right? Instead, we would much rather divide by,
800.
divide by
40.
into 800. We're rounding down on both of these. So if we're rounding down on both the dividend and the divisor, then it's okay, right? It should be sort of close. All right, so let's see. If we divide 8, well, we can do that in our heads. What's 800 divided by 40? 20. What was the exact answer?
19.65.
We're pretty darn close.
9268.
We're pretty darn close. So instead of getting the exact answer is $19.60 cents,
So it's 19.858.
$19.85, we got
65
$20, right? Which is pretty darn close.
65
Yes.
cents.
It says how much. It doesn't say
And it also
hours.
says you make.
How much is he paid each hour?
On
He is paid, you make about $20 per hour. What's wrong?
It just didn't say about it.
Oh, got you. Oh, very nice. Notice if you read the question, it sort of implies that you don't want to do an approximation here because I said how much. So Ace's answer would have been more correct than mine. So I will change that for next year.
19.65
Don't
cents.
you mean the next class?
Pierce? You said ace.
Yeah,
He's the one that calculated it.
exactly. Half.
He's the one that pointed out that my verbiage right there should be a bit better, but he was the one that already told me it was $19.85.
65.
All right. You said
I
85.
said 19.6582928.
All right. We can go back to the recording.
65.
All right. Any questions on anything we've done today? We got about 10 minutes left of class. Who's already done with their homework?
Me, I have one problem.
All right. Clearly, the rest of you can get started and some of you might finish. So let's get that going.
I'm
Yes.
so hungry. Can you go back to
Mr.
the
Chartier,
page?
can I go?
Which one?
So it shows what we have to do.
Right there.
Pages 94 through 95, problems 1 through 8.
It's like homework.
4.
Wait, why not? Is it class expressions or written expressions?
Word problems are always called problems.
Oh, let's go easy.
Yes. Sure. How much will she save per place setting if she buys a set of 8 of them?
And I'm gonna finish my homework.
Kaden, it's easy.
I know, it's like legit.
No, like
I've
7,
already done.
so
I've
that's
legit
just-
already done 2 problems.
7 and 5 are the ones that kicked my butt.
Which one?
7 and 5.
Now that is your argument. That's probably not going to agree with the answer in the book, but your argument is
I'm on
good. I'll
five.
say it.
You got 5 kids.
What?
Can I have to the bathroom?
I have no idea.
May I?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, e-learners, do you have any questions? All right, I will see you guys tomorrow.